morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good and everyone is safe during this time of pandemic. I'll start off with the presentation of mine. So we are Saurya Urja Technology. We are a solar EPC firm, and we provide sustainable energy solutions through deployment of technology and innovation. We have wide range of lithium-ion batteries, and we use it for different applications like electric vehicles, storage, traction, special applications, etc. We are a one-stop solution for battery manufacturing. We have in-house R&D and design that gives us an edge over the competitors. We have a 20,000 square feet of production facility with world-class assembly equipment in Noida, India. So I am the founder of the company. I have recently won the Indian Achievers Award 2020 and the Indian Achievers Award for Young Entrepreneur. This is our visionary, Mr. Pawan Kumar Bhardwaj. The company came into existence with his blessings and with his guidance, and we were able to work and achieve our dreams, and we were able to fulfill our vision and mission of the company because of his guidance and his support, which was continuous throughout. So I'll start off with the topic of today's seminar, that is startups in renewable energy, a step towards green future. So when we talk about this, the first question arises in our mind, that is, what is a startup? So a startup is a young company founded by one or more entrepreneurs to develop a unique product or service and bring it to the market. By its nature, the typical startup tends to be a shoestring operation with initial funding from the founders or their friends and family. Then the next question is, why renewable energy? Why are we so much focused on renewable energy? The answer to this is generating energy that produces no greenhouse gas emissions from fossil fuels and reduces some types of air pollution, diversifying energy supply and reducing dependence on imported fuels. So what helps us with this is that it creates economic development and jobs in the field of manufacturing, installation, and many more. When we talk about India, with the current population of 1.4 billion, India stands on rank 3 in the global energy market. The first one is United States of America, the second one is China, and then India. When we talk about the generated capacity of renewables versus the total capacity generation, when we see during the time frame of December 2019, we see that 22.95% of India's installed electricity generation capacity is from renewable energy. Then we see a significant jump in November 2020, wherein 36.46% of India's installed electricity generation capacity was from renewable energy. Now, when we talk about startups, everyone is thinking of that they'll start off their business. So what India aims by 2020, by 2022, what is the target of India when it comes to renewable energy? So the target set by the Indian government is around 175 gigawatts of energy, and bifurcation of different renewable energy businesses have been given. Like, for example, 5 gigawatts is from small hydro projects, 10 gigawatts is from biomass, 40 gigawatts is from rooftop solar, 60 gigawatts from wind, and 60 gigawatts from solar photovoltaics. Now, when we talk about startups, so you must be thinking, like you must be planning to start your own venture or looking for growth or diversification opportunities in your current startup. So let's discuss something about that. When we talk about startups, Indian government has a plan which is from, like, they gave us a number from January 2016 till December 2020, wherein they highlighted all the achievements which the startups have done up till now. So when we see that around 41,317 startups have been recognized by DPIIT, then around 590 plus districts with at least one recognized startup. Then when we talk about employment, 4.7 lakh jobs reported by 39,000 plus startups. Then 44% of the recognized startups have at least one women director. And we all know that India focuses on women employment. So that is a great number when we say that 44% of the recognized startups have at least one women director. Then we have 4,509 crores of investment made in 384 startups through the Fund of Funds scheme. Then 30 states and union territories have a dedicated startup policy, and we'll be discussing about these policies in the presentation ahead. Then we have around 319 eligible startups have been granted exemption under 80 IAC of the Income Tax Act. Then 39 regulatory reforms enabled with the help of various ministries. Then 53,226 orders received by a startup with a value of over rupees 2,279 crores through GEM portal. GEM portal is a government portal, and manufacturers and startups can register on GEM portal. Then 2.8 lakh users enrolled in Startup India L&D program. And then 37 plus regulatory reforms have been undertaken by states and the union territory. Moving on, even the government of India has defined an action plan of how they will help the startups and how they will help in growing the startup culture in India. So firstly, what they have done is that they have simplified and they are giving extreme amount of help to the newcomers and the people who are interested in developing their own startups. So they are giving compliance regime based on self-certification. Startup India Hub is one, rolling out of mobile app and portal, legal support and fast tracking patent examination at lower cost, because we all know that patents take a lot of time. But now they have made this a fast track process, so which is another good thing for us. Then relaxed norms of public procurement for startups, faster exit for startups. Then we have industry, academia partnership and incubation, organizing startup fests for showcasing innovation and providing a collaboration platform. Launch of Atal Innovation Mission with self-employment and talent utilization SETU program. Harnessing private sector expertise for incubator startups, building innovation centers at national institutes. Setting up of 7 new research modeled on the research park setup at IIT Madras, promoting startups in the biotechnology sector, launching of innovation-focused programs for students, annual incubator grant challenge. So government has also launched few of the competitions or award ceremonies for startups, which gives you a sense of competition that you have to outshine and do something so that you can also be in the market and you can be a renowned name. Then funding support and incentives, provision of funding support through a fund of funds with a corpus of rupees 10,000 crores, credit guarantee fund for startups, tax exemption on capital gains, tax exemption to startups for 3 years, tax exemption on investments above fair market value. So when we talk about, when we all are here because we all are interested in renewable energy startups. So how can we start a renewable energy business? So determining the type of renewable energy business you wish to establish, wind, solar, hydro, biomass, tidal, geothermal. You should be focused and you should know in which type of renewable energy business you want to establish. And it is also further divided into sales. You want to do the sales of maybe solar modules, or you want to do the O&M operations and maintenance of solar parks, or maybe anything of your choice. Then the second point is check the permits or license required. Currently, GST is one of the main important things which is required. Then every state and the center has its own set of requirements. Then educate yourself and your team about the business. Few courses are available on various government and non-government websites, and there's a link provided. And you can also find certain courses on LinkedIn Learning and etc. Then investigate your potential suppliers. This is one of the main things, because when we, for example, we have a solar EPC company, and when we go for procurement or we want to procure raw materials from anyone, we have to make sure that the quality of the product is up to the mark, because we cannot compromise on the quality. So that is one of the main things, that you should investigate your potential suppliers, that from whom you're procuring your materials from and what is the quality which they are offering. The second one is create business and marketing plans. Acquire necessary capital for your business. If you don't have enough assets, there are various potential investors which are looking for ideal business investments. Startup India website that helps you find angel investors. and the website link is given below. The last point is knowing your customer and executing your business and marketing ideas. This is very important. Then what are the stages of startup development? There are 5 stages of startup development. The first one is research. Analyze your competition, get to know your customers, find out as much as possible about the market you're going to enter. Second one is from idea to MVP. Release a product with minimal efforts. Focus on delivering the basic functionality to test the assumption. Third, getting traction. Invest in marketing to get your first users. Make the customer talk about your product. This attracts fresh traffic. And this is one of the most important things. When customers talk about your product, talk about your company, that has a different impact on the market rather than we ourselves doing marketing of the company. So the next point is keep improving your product. We all know that technology keeps on changing every day. So it is very important that we focus on the kind of product which we are delivering and bring changes to the product every now and then so that it suits the market. So analyze your current results, listen to user feedback, and think of possible improvements. Never stop working on the product. The next one is aiming for maturity. Measure everything you do. Calculate your rate of interest, customer acquisition cost, etc. and focus on improving these numbers. So the stages is from idea to MVP to a successful business. Then 7 steps to grow your startup. The first one is stay true to your core purpose. Second one is be selective for opportunities. There will be a lot of opportunities in the market, but you have to make sure you choose the right opportunity, you select the right opportunity, and you focus on the right opportunity. The third one is state the vision and mission of the company. It is very important for you to state and know the vision and mission of the company, because this is something which will lead you to success. Then focus on sales. The fifth one is get your priorities straight. Sixth one is motivate everyone for the vision. It is very important for a company. It is the most important feature for a company that all the employees of the company work towards the vision of the company. If each and every single person of the company work towards the vision of the company, success is 100% guaranteed. The 7th point is hire and train the employees. Now, what are the growth strategies? We have 4 growth strategies. Firstly, if the product is existing and the market is existing, market penetration. Increase present customer rate of use, attract customers from competitors, attract non-users. If the product is existing and the market is new, expand geographically. Reach into new market segments. Then, if the product is new and the market is existing, add new features to the product. Develop additional models, develop new products. And if the product is new and the market is new, then keep the fit, diversify into totally new areas. Then step-by-step process for startup recognition. Government has laid out different steps for startup recognition. The first one is entity creates an account on Startup India website. You need to create an account on Startup India website. The second one is the entity then applies for the DPIIT recognition. This is very important. The third one is application gets reviewed and the certificate of recognition is issued to completed applications within 48 to 72 working hours. So imagine how fast the Indian government is working when they say that they'll be issuing a certificate of recognition within 48 to 72 working hours. Then what are the details? You must be thinking that what are the details required for filling up the recognition form? So there are only 6 details which you require. The first one is incorporation details such as incorporation number, date of recognition, permanent account number, that is your PAN, name of the registered entity, private limited company or a limited liability partnership or a registered partnership firm. Then proof of concept such as a pitch deck, website link, video in case of a validation, early traction, scaling stage startup. Then the third one is brief about the entity with details on the problem solved, solution provided, uniqueness and revenue model adapted. The fourth one is incorporation registration certificate, which you'll get in 48 to 72 hours. Then the director details. Complete director details are required in this. Other information about the entity like the sector, the patent details, the stage, the number of employees, etc. All these are very important to provide. The next thing is there is absolute no requirement of letter of recommendation from anywhere, and there is no requirement of sanction letter. Additional or optional information which you must have is that the startup at ideation stage can simply apply without any proof of concept and obtain recognition. Startups can also update their proof of funding, awards, and recognitions received. Startups can strengthen their applications by providing patent, trademark, copyright, or plant variety of details. Then startups can also add a video of their products and services. So it is basically you need to highlight your company, your startup, the work which you are doing, the sector which you are aiming at, and the recognitions which you've got, the product and the services which you are giving. Then what is the process for funds for startup? The first one is the eligibility screener and registration. You need to register and you need to be eligible for that thing. Then there will be a set of preliminary questions which will be there, which will be handed over to you. There will be a first meeting scheduled in which you'll be given a feedback whether you can proceed for the funding or you cannot. Then there will be a detailed application. This is processed, like due diligence is completed here, and then appraisal memo submission, second meeting, feedback and terms and discussions. They help you in telling you like you need to do this and what all extra is required in the current application. Then you present to VC investment committee. Then sit these executive committees there. Then final feedback, which is done, and then on board for the fund life cycle. There are different state startup policies. We'll talk about 2014 and 2015. We talk about Kerala in 2014. So the highlight of this was that the policy balances both fiscal and non-fiscal incentives, such as establishing at least 10 incubators or accelerators developing 1 million square feet of incubation space, venture capital funding of minimum rupees 2,000 crores, etc. And what was the support of India's startup? It facilitated cross-subject learning among the states. Kerala shared its practices in the procurement, conducted regional knowledge workshop for sharing best practices of the ecosystem among the states, and few more points. Then we talk about Gujarat. The major highlight of this was that Gujarat was among the first few states to have announced a startup and innovation policy in 2015. The Startup India support was Vibrant Gujarat Startup Summit in 2019 was conducted to sensitize ecosystem enablers. Advisory on incorporating best practices within startup ecosystem. Conducted Startup India Meet in Ahmedabad. Then in 2016, we saw a lot of states turning up like Telangana, Odisha, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh. So I'll just talk about the Startup India support quickly. When we talk about Telangana, collaboration during World Design Assembly, 59th edition, support in terms of outreach of their startup focus events. In Jharkhand, the Startup India support was advisory on incorporating best practices within startup ecosystem, conducted mentorship workshop for startups in the region. When we talk about Uttar Pradesh, advisory on incorporating best practices within the startup. When we talk about Odisha, the assistance in formulation of state startup policy, assistance in conceptualizing district level infrastructure, support for startups, and structuring the proposed Odisha startup fund. When we talk about Madhya Pradesh, assistance in sharing the seed fund models available across various governments, conducted a startup investor facilitation sessions in the state. Then in 2017 and 18, there were different states like Punjab, Bihar, Haryana, and Assam in 2017. So Punjab has formed a strategic alliance with diverse organizations to foster innovation and startup growth, such as SCPI Mohali, State Department of Industries and Commerce, ISB, and Punjab Technical University for setting up Startup Punjab Hub. And Haryana State provides 50% rental subsidy to women entrepreneurs at state-supported incubators. So this is a very big step from the Haryana government that they are promoting women entrepreneurs. Then we talk about Bihar. As part of its policy, it provides reimbursement for incubating a startup, up to rupees 2 lakh per incubate to government-recognized private and state-supported incubators. In Assam, Assam startup policy envisions to facilitate at least 1,000 new startups across all sectors over the next 5 years and attract funding opportunities of USD 250 million for state-based startups and incubators. Then in 2018, Jammu Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Tamil Nadu, they all joined in. When we talk about J&K, more than 2,000 state startups have benefited from seed capital fund schemes. When we talk about Maharashtra, the policy envisions to transform Maharashtra by catalyzing the growth of an innovation-driven entrepreneur's ecosystem to achieve wholesome and inclusive socio-economic development. Uttarakhand, the policy aims to facilitate and nurture the growth of at least 500 new startups in Uttarakhand. When we talk about Andaman and Nicobar, the Union Territory aims to provide a startup growth grant of up to 3 lakhs to startups. Tamil Nadu, the state targets to create 1 lakh high-skilled job creation, direct and indirect, in the startup ecosystem by 2023. Lastly, in Nagaland, when we talk about 2019, the policy aims to facilitate growth of at least 500 startups in the next 5 years with a focus on made in Nagaland products. Financial grants up to rupees 3 lakhs shall be provided to the projects recommended by incubators established by government, private sector, academic institutions as a startup grant in Puducherry. When we talk about Meghalaya, the policy aims to establish an innovation fund to foster research in information and communication technology and energy, tourism, etc. In the state institutions, the fund will be utilized to facilitate technology transfer and commercialization in institutions. So that was from our side. If you have any more doubts, if you want to know anything about how to set up a business, or you have any business ideas which you want to discuss, or you want to partner with Saurya Urja Technology, we are a complete solar EPC firm and a lithium-ion battery manufacturer. We'll be more than happy to help you, guide you, and we'll be more than happy to be your one of the best suppliers. So thank you. This is what we have from our side. Thanks a lot, everyone.